Let's talk teams who are on the Niners' heels in the NFC. Did I spell heels correctly? I don't know. So it's the Niners and the Eagles, obviously, at the top of the NFC. Those are the two best teams. Which teams possibly could join them as contenders? Last year, remember, the Eagles were just 9-8. So teams improve quickly. And the Niners haven't improved much the last 4 years. They've been very good the last 4 years, except for 2020 when they were injured. They've been kind of trying to keep their core together as much as possible. Haven't tried to add on much to it. There's always going to be teams adding. They're going to join the party. That was the Eagles last year. Is there anyone else that's going to be doing that this year? Well, there's the Cowboys. The Cowboys did give the Niners problems. And as long as they have Micah Parsons on a rookie deal, they're a problem. Micah Parsons is as good as any player on defense in the NFL. They're really good in the trenches, although their offensive tackles are really old. That's the thing with Dallas. Their offensive tackles are really old, and Dak is a problem. Dak is a real problem. He's not the same quarterback he was before the injuries. He turns the ball over too much. He loses games for them. So if they could, get some new offensive tackles and a new quarterback, and maybe another weapon on offense, I'd say, yeah, that's a team that's improving. But are they improving? Are they? Or are they kind of the same? Are they kind of stuck? I don't know about Dallas. I feel like they might fall back a little bit. Like, what's Tony Pollard going to be like after his injury? I don't know about Dallas. The two teams I'm looking at are, well, you got the Giants as well. The Giants are interesting, but who's their quarterback going to be? Are they going to give Daniel Jones $45 million a year just to keep continuity, or are they going to get rid of him and try to bring in someone else? Like, are they going to go after Jameis Winston or Mitchell Trubisky? So try to do something like that. Remember, Brian Daboll did coach Mitchell Trubisky for a season in Buffalo. So what are they going to do at quarterback? Who are their wide receivers going to be? Was that season just a flash in the pan? That roster legitimately isn't good. So I'm curious to see what they can do to add. The two teams that I feel like are really in position to add and make a leap are Detroit and Seattle. Let's start with Detroit. Detroit finished the season on a tear. I think they lost two. They won a bunch of their last few games. I don't have them in front of me right now. They lost 2 games over the last couple of months, 3 months. What do they have? They have a really good offensive line. They have 3 first-round picks on their offensive line. 2 first-round picks at offensive tackle, Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell. And they got a first-round pick at center, Frank Ragnow. Really good. And then they got, I forget how to pronounce the guy's name, but Vaitai at one guard spot and another guard who's, anyway. They have a really good offensive line. That's a good start, not to mention a good running game, a good wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they have Jared Goff, who's obviously good, not great. Had a good season last year, but not great. On defense, they're awful. But they were 9-8 last year, just like the Eagles the year before. And they're good on offensive line. They have a really good offense. That's the thing about Detroit. They had the 5th rated offense in the league. What you need in the NFL is a great offense and a good defense. So all they have to do is improve their defense a little bit. And you can improve your defense very quickly in the NFL. What do they have in Detroit? They have Aiden Hutchinson on the D-line. They also have 2 first-round picks this year. So they're going to get another impact D-line player on a rookie deal. They already have Jeff Okudah, a young impact corner, and Kirby Joseph, who the Niners could have had, but they took Ty Davis Price instead. Safety rookie last year who had 4 picks. So that defense is young. Young defenses can improve very quickly. If that defense goes from awful to middle of the pack, they have an elite offense. Now, so let's just say they take the best D end available with their first round pick. With their second first round pick, number 18, they could take a quarterback. Let's say the Lions get Anthony Richardson. Now, they're kind of like the Niners. They have their steady veteran quarterback, and they have this project who could be ready in a year or two. And he would Anthony Richardson, the thing about him is he is 235 pounds. He runs a 4.48. He might be a better running quarterback than Justin Fields. He might be the best running quarterback we've ever seen. He's going to be a better running quarterback than Trey Lance. So that's a team that's really poised to improve. 2 first-round picks. Another team that has 2 first-round picks is Seattle. And again, look at Seattle. Really good offensive line. They drafted 2 starting tackles last year. They're both really good. They have 2 good guards, Damian Lewis and Gabe Jackson, and a serviceable center. They also have a quarterback in Geno Smith, who's in the Pro Bowl last year. Good, not great. They're going to have to give him an extension, and it'll be expensive, but probably the first 2 seasons of that extension won't be expensive. He'll probably have low cap numbers because of the salary, because of the signing bonus. So they'll have a little bit of a window there. Good running back, good tight end, 2 good wide receivers. What they need is a defense, but they have Pete Carroll. They have 2 first-round picks this year. They're going to get an edge rusher. They're going to get Jamal Adams back. They're going to get Jordan Brooks back. They're going to be better next year. So those are 2 young teams that are coming on strong and are going to be factors next year. And while the Niners are so locked into the team they have, they're not going to be really trying to improve on it very much. They got to be looking for these teams. Seattle, Detroit, Philly has 2 first-round picks as well. They got the 10th pick in the draft and the 30th pick in the draft. So the 3 teams that are the biggest threats to the Niners in the NFC have a combined 6 first-round picks, while the Niners have no picks in the top 98. That's kind of scary. Niners better make some moves in free agency because these 3 teams are coming. You got to have any. Here's why. Here's the thing, the difference between those 3 teams and the Niners. Say what you want about Detroit, Philly, and Seattle for next year. All 3 of those teams have excellent offensive lines and stability at the quarterback position. I'm not saying they have excellent quarterbacks. Philly does. Philly has an excellent quarterback position. But all 3 have excellent offensive lines and stability at the quarterback position. You can't say that about the Niners. The Niners don't have an excellent offensive line. They don't have stability at the quarterback position. So that makes the Niners pretty volatile. They could be the best team in the league next year, or things could go sideways. Things could go real left. Speaking of that, what's the NFC team most likely to fall off this season? I'm thinking like last year, Green Bay. We kind of saw that coming. They'd been in the playoffs. They'd missed their opportunity. They'd been 1 seeds. They'd been in the NFC Championship. How many runs are they going to make before they just fell apart? And then they fell apart. And now they're reloading. Which is going to be that team this year? It could be Dallas. They've been in the playoffs the last few years. Dak Prescott seems to be getting worse. They could fall apart. Although, as long as they have Micah Parsons on that, as long as they have that pass rush, it's a good defense. They might not be going anywhere. Let's be frank. Of all the teams in the NFC that are most likely to have a rapid fall off, at least for 1 year, it's the 49ers. Which is rough. I'm not saying they will, but there's a scenario where things go bad for them. Look at it. They're going to lose Jimmy Garoppolo and Mike McGlinchey most likely. And I don't think much of those players. But it's possible they leave and the Niners don't upgrade on either one. It's possible the Niners go into next season weaker on the offensive line and at the quarterback position than last season. Because last season, they had Purdy, Lance, and Jimmy. And the only one of them coming off an injury was Jimmy. This year, they have Purdy and Lance. And both of them are coming off injuries, and Jimmy's gone. So right now, they're weaker at the quarterback position. Then the offensive line, Brendel could leave. McGlinchey could leave. I'm not saying re-sign him. They should leave. But the Niners need to upgrade at those 2 spots. Will they? Or are they going to let Nick Zakelj be the starting center? Are they going to let Jalen Moore be the starting right tackle? Maybe those guys will be serviceable and cheaper and it'll allow them to splurge at other positions. But if the Niners really weaken themselves at, in my opinion, the 2 most important positions on the offense, boy, this season could get bad. What if they go through quarterbacks? What if Purdy doesn't come back in time? What if Lance gets hurt again? Who are they going to be playing at quarterback? It could be 2020 all over again. So the way the Niners prevent that from happening is seriously invest in the offensive line and bring in more bodies at quarterback. The Niners organizationally seem like they're only comfortable spending 15% of their salary cap on the offensive line. That seems outdated. They spend 5% more on their defensive line. That seems outdated. Unless the Niners can get a bunch of really good offensive linemen on their rookie deal. Seattle doesn't spend very much on their offensive line. They spend on Gabe Jackson, but everyone else is essentially on rookie deals. But the Niners don't have those top picks. The Lions spend like $60 million a year on their offensive line. The Eagles spend like $55 million a year, $60 million a year on their offensive line. Why wouldn't the Niners do that? You're not spending on quarterbacks. You're spending a lot of money on running backs and wide receivers. On one running back and one wide receiver who kind of are the same player. That's unfortunate. Got to spend more on this offensive line. Got to figure out a way. What they really should do is trade up for a starting right tackle and sign a starting center. That's what I would do. You could re-sign Brendel. I mean, Brendel wasn't bad, right? If you can upgrade on Brendel, fine, but he was a Pro Bowl alternate. Let McGlinchey go and trade up for a starting right tackle in the top of round 3. The Seahawks found a starting right tackle in the top of round 3 last year. The Niners should be able to do it. Or sign one. I don't care.